Alright, just a quick review of the V-Screen VS-3. I currently had a Lilliput monitor right here, which is also a 7-inch screen, and I'll just do a very quick what I like and don't like about them real fast. They have two versions of this, the VS1 and the VS3, which is this one. The main difference is same resolution and everything like that. This one has a red bar, and it has some features like false color, focus peaking, and zebras. If those are important to you, if you don't have them on your camera, you may want to invest in this, or you may not. So basically, without the box, this is what you get. It is very low profile. One thing I do like about this also compared to the VS1 is that it has the HDMI in, but it also has HDMI out. So for something like having two monitors, you can actually have the display show up on here also, and or you can send it to a TV or a larger screen if you're doing something indoors. Comes with a hood. These are okay. It's made out of like a canvas or some sort, but these are a little irritating because you have to fold them and velcro them around and whatnot. And sometimes on these newer monitors, they actually have ones that are plastic that are specifically made for the screen that kind of flap open and then fold closed pretty neatly. I kind of prefer those better. Very low profile, which I do like. It has meters on it, and that works sometimes directly through the HDMI. I think it depends on the source it's coming from, but sometimes you may have to put one of these plugs in to be able to get the actual audio to actually hear it through the monitor when you plug it into the headphone jack. Really quick, when I purchased these initially, this is a 7-inch. I bought DC 12 volt adapters, and this actually works on here. These take Sony batteries, and I purchased a few of them to work on here, and they work well. And I got the smaller one so it stays pretty low profile, because this is pretty light, but it feels just as solid as something like this. Except this just feels a little more bulky, and it's very slightly bulky, more bulky, but in the field when you're trying to carry something and stay light, every little bit helps as far as feeling lightweight or traveling light. So you can plug this directly in. I'm just going to show you just to power it on for you really quick. And I just pretty much strap this on with Velcro to the back of here. So the two versions, now that I look back, I would have probably preferred the VS1 for what my uses are. And one of the main reasons I got it was for the features that come on it, which is the peaking, the zebras, and I don't use false colors, but stuff like that is on here. And also the HDMI out. But I paid almost $400 for this, and at the time the VS1 was only about $120, $127. Recently it looked like it jumped up to about $175 or almost $200. So because of that, I might end up keeping this. But really quick, the things that I don't like about it would be the resolution is not high enough to actually use it for anything else than framing. To reference it as far as actually how it looks, I wouldn't do it, because there's times I actually thought the footage was a lot worse than what it actually was based on the resolution of the actual screen. Sometimes it actually looks like it's falling apart, and it's because the resolution is pretty weak. There's some quick shortcut menus on here, which is kind of cool. It's really fast to get to. But the thing I don't like, and this is the meters, like I said, sometimes depending on your device you're hooking up to, they'll actually be active. The thing that I don't like is, for example, focus peaking. When you turn it on, if you notice, it's not peaking the actual image on the screen. It's actually peaking anything on the screen. So anything around the levels meter. Oh yeah, and it has a levels too, which is good for some people who don't have it for like Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras. And as far as I know, this actually works for it, and that's why I bought it initially. But Blackmagic also has zebras and focus peaking already built in the camera, as far as I know, and the Sony cameras I use also have that feature. So it kind of becomes irrelevant to me unless you're using a DSLR. And I use a Mark III also, and every time I hook this up or any monitor to my Mark III HDMI output, there's always a very bad lag in between the communication, and that's a little awkward to me. But if you notice where it says no signal, you see how it's doing the peaking and all that stuff on here. It does it for everything. So if you have any display popping up from your camera, it's going to overlay on top, and sometimes that can be very distracting when you're trying to see what's behind it. It's in the way, because it's not even peaking what you need it to peak, which is the actual image itself. So that sounds petty, but it really is distracting when you're trying to use it, and that's something I definitely do not like. Other than that, the monitor is pretty nice as far as the size of it. The resolution's okay, but I think the biggest thing for me is at $400, I'm probably not that satisfied. If it was maybe $250, I would probably feel a lot better about it. But it's everybody's told, it's your choice and what you prefer, what you think you need. But given that I paid $400, and this is probably considered a very low price for an LCD panel that has these features, I could definitely understand why somebody would have to pay in the thousands or multiple thousands to get a high quality monitor for professional use. Part of the reason I did this also is not just to see, but it's also for clients when they need to see, and you know, eventually you will need some type of panel, and you want it to be as accurate as possible when other people see it, because anytime somebody sees something that's unfinished product, they're going to prejudge it, and you just want to be accurate as possible. And looking at this, especially this one reproduces images pretty poorly. This is better, but it's not that good, just to be honest. But at $400, it's your choice. Me personally, I don't think it's worth it. But now that the version 1 has hiked this price up a little bit, or it's not on sale anymore, I don't know if I should return it or just keep it now, because it does have the feature at least of HDMI out. And given that, maybe I can HDMI out it to like a if you're doing it indoors or in a studio environment, maybe you can output it to something of high resolution or a really nice TV or LED panel, and then this is just for literally framing and stuff like that. So hopefully this helps somebody out, and it's not that bad, but it's just not that great, and it's ultimately it's your choice on what you need it for. I just thought it would have been a little, for the value, I would have rather paid $100 or so less. But thanks a lot. Bye.